What's up, everyone? What is that? What's up, everyone? Hey, got another project here. This one's been in the works for a little while, so I'm gonna show you how I make this garden fence, which is not there right now, but it will be right here. A few details about it: it's gonna be treated lumber, it's gonna be hardware cloth, it's gonna be about 4 feet tall. So let's get started. First thing I'm gonna do is pull a string line all the way around to find square and where I'm gonna dig my post holes. Alright, so I think I've got all the spots marked out. They look pretty square, so we'll see how it goes. Now we just dig a bunch of holes. Forever. And ever. And ever. And ever. Okay, it's just like 28 holes, but still. One down. It's kind of exhausting, though. Just so you know. Alright, that was a lot of holes to dig. The auger was amazing. I love that thing. Still a lot of work, 30 posts in all. The next step is to get all these filled in and in line with each other and level. Or no, plumb, up and down. So I'm gonna reattach these battering boards, I don't know, so that I can make sure that they all line up to each other, and if I need to finesse some of the holes to make sure they're all in line, I'll do that. So let's get started. So I'm gonna start with the 4 outside corners, get them all plumb and the way that I want them, and then I will actually take the lines and go between the two and then line up everything in between that way. So I did this string line. I'm not sure if you can see it. Maybe I'll take this off. We're trying to make sure that all these are lined up. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna put you right on the string. This pole here has some flexibility so that it can be plumb and level, but it should be pretty good. The other thing I did is tried to make this string line parallel to this concrete edge here, and I think it's pretty close. I don't know how it's going to turn out in the end. I think it'll be as straight as it can be, and I am going to be fine with that. Alright, so this is the last post I'm setting in the ground after 29 others. They're all set in the ground by just dirt. I'm not trying to keep anybody in or out of this other than rabbits. Maybe small children, we'll see. So after 29, I wanted to show you my process of doing this. It's also in the video of that fence there. You can go check that out. Alright, so you see I have a string that goes between the end posts. Every other one is lined up and not necessarily touching, but just up to that line, just barely touching. So that's what I want to do with this post as well. However, I've got to make sure that it's level and move it in the hole one way or the other to get that just perfect. Good. Now this side I'm not too worried about, just because once I start filling it in with dirt, I'm going to have a lot of extra room to move it around a lot. But I want to get that set so that the bottom of the post is where it needs to be in the bottom of the hole. Now I'm just going to start filling it up with dirt everywhere. Quite a bit, probably a little over half actually. And then I'll come back and tamp it in once it's, see, now it kind of sits by itself and it's right where I want it to be. So this looks perfect. This, not that you can see it, but it's way out of level, so I need to bring it back a couple right there. And that is something I'll just keep working at as I use the back of my shovel and just tamp that dirt in. Now this side, you can see I don't have room to get my shovel in, so it is what it is at that point. So now that it's tamped in, like you saw, I fill the rest in with dirt, just loosely, all the way to the top. Now that I have it like that, I'm gonna check level again. It seems like it needs to go back this way a little bit because it's touching right there. And that's right where it needs to be. So it has some flexibility until you start tamping this in. I just do it by my hand first, just to make sure that it doesn't move around too much. Good. Good. And then I come back with my foot and stomp it in. And it's done. Not going anywhere.
Now that all the fence posts are in, I'm going around each one of them and raking in between to ensure that the grade board sits evenly between each post.
Time for grade boards, or what I'm calling grade boards. I'm really not sure what they are. They're the boards that are going on the ground. I'm gonna call them grade boards. Alright, so these are 2x6s. I'm going to slide them behind the posts, set them where I think they should be. Just lay them down. I can always move dirt up to them to make sure that no critters get underneath. But what I'm gonna do is take my pen and scribe a line once I think I have it. So you can see that the line is definitely at an angle because the side yard is at an angle. I left the line because I would rather have it a tight fit than not. All right, let's just keep going. All right, pocket hole time. Obviously make sure to set that to 1.5. I'm using 2.5-inch pocket screws. Bought these on Amazon, link in the bio below. They were cheap. Who knows how to say that brand, but they're also coated. Also, in case you're wondering, not suitable for children under 5. Hopefully I can keep my kids away from them. I already did it wrong. I put my pocket holes on the front. So I'm gonna save this and hopefully it fits in one of those slots back there. Which it should. Bummer. Well, on to the next one. I'm putting these flush right here. My hardware cloth will go all the way past the pole, so that's why this is flush. Right. That is pressure treated right there. I'm very happy with that first one. I think it's gonna look awesome. Like 30 more to go. All right, next thing up is this top rail. I'm using the clamps to just hold the 12-foot boards up. That way I can use it to mark out where I need to and then cut those at the size so they fit perfectly inside. The other thing I've got is a string line. The string line is gonna help me find complete levelness over all the posts so that in the end, the top cap that I put on top of this fence in the end is going to be completely level between the two corner posts on this bottom side. Now I'm going to do the same thing to that side over there, but obviously it'll have a slant to it because the hill goes down. It's like 8:09 already. I'm going to work until dark and see how it goes. Let's roll that beautiful time lapse. I was out here real late last night after dark. As you saw, I got 2 sides done all together. Just have these sides to go with this top rail. When I started the top rail, I told you about the clamp system that I was using. I figured out a better way to do that. Let me show you how I'm doing it now. Instead of clamping the 12-foot long board onto the posts, I've decided to use a little board underneath like this, and then use a scrap piece of 2x4 to line up where it should be. Now obviously that's a little bit low, so I kind of just tap it up. I caught it. Okay, next up we're gonna cut all the posts down. Make sure you set your saw all the way as deep as it can go, and you'll still have to go both sides probably. At least I will. Hearing protection. Better eye protection? How cool do I look now? Okay, so the next thing that we're going to be doing is putting on the hardware cloth. That's 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch galvanized hardware cloth. So I don't know how to explain it. You'll see it in the video in like, I don't know, 30 seconds or less. Anyway, that's going on next, and then the top cap goes on. If any of you are like me, I am just dying to see what this kind of looks like finished with the top cap on. So let's put a piece on there. I think that looks absolutely incredible. What do you think? Looks pretty good, right? Here's the hardware cloth. Also, I don't know why it's called hardware cloth. If anyone knows, let me know in the comment. Oh yeah, there it says it right there. You get cool gloves. Who remembers these things because of paper routes? I had a paper route when I was younger. Okay, this is my first little mistake already. Literally with the first one. But right here you can see I kind of just had to bend it down. It doesn't look pretty, but it got me back to the angle that I need at the top until that point down there. Okay, so I figured out my first mistake with the hardware cloth, and that is the staple kind that I got. I thought I got galvanized. I did not. It literally says on the box, do not use with treated wood. So my fixes wait on the rest of that until I get the right staples, come back through this stuff and put the right staples in, and the other ones hopefully just don't rust as fast. I don't know. In the meantime, I'm gonna start on the top rail. First, I'm gonna start by cutting this at a perfect 90, and it's gonna butt up against this pole. We do like having that, so we're gonna keep that. I just want a clean edge on this, and then over on the other side, I'm gonna start doing a 45-degree bevel. I'm gonna do the 45. Okay, so I do want this right on this post, as the middle as possible. We'll see. I'm not too worried about it. Oh, I like that much better. Look at that. And this is why I'm gonna have to redo this fence in a matter of months. Right? Next is the gate. About this anti-sag thing on Amazon.
This was a pretty easy process just by following the instructions. I did end up having to recut some of my boards just so that it fit inside of the opening correctly. I did end up adding an angle piece just to keep it from sagging even more. I am happy with how it turned out though. It really helped a lot to have a flat surface to put this fence together. However, it didn't help so much having two boys moving my boards away from me all the time. But in the end, we got it done.
This pole is going to have the gate attached to it that you can see right behind me, but it moves a lot. I don't know if you can see that. It moves too much, so I'm going to put it in some concrete, and to do that I need to take this pole out and unscrew all of the pieces that are on it, dig it out, and then screw those back on, and it should be just fine. Do you have something to say? Come here. Do you have anything to say? Point. Okay, so that is locked back in place. I've got my hole dug out that's 3 feet down for sure, if not more. The only thing I don't know is this side to side, so I'm going to put up another board and brace it in to the ground so that I know it's perfectly level when I pour this and let it sit. Alright, I'd say that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to check level one more time on it and ensure that it's right where it needs to be and leave it for a day. Last night I was able to get this gate finished up. I took it apart like 3 different times. Just was not fitting. It was sagging a little bit. Finally I figured out how I wanted it. I added the brace piece that definitely kept it up, and I added this little string to open it up, and now it should shut on its own, which is awesome. worked pretty good. Obviously, I'll put hardware cloth on the back of this right here and it'll look just like that. So tonight, my dad and I are going to work on putting hardware cloth on the rest of the 3 sides. My hope is to get done with that tonight. It's a high expectation, high goal, whatever.
I'm working on the second opening of this fence. This is to get to the electrical box if needed. I was going to have it swing open like a gate, but in the end we decided to just put hinges on there with pins. When they need to remove it, they would just pull the pins and remove the whole panel. The last few things that I needed to get done were the hardware cloth on the gate, adding the galvanized staples to the first section that I didn't have galvanized staples for, rounding over the top pieces that I cut in, and finally the top caps on either side of the gate.
That's it for this video. I started this garden fence probably about 2 months ago and we're finally done. As you can see, the grass is green now. We are very eager to start planting in there, so as soon as it dries out a little bit, we're going to be tilling it up and starting to grow things. We got peas and broccoli and tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers and squash. Tomatoes, did I say tomatoes? There's a lot more than that. Lettuce, did I say squash? Maybe eggplant? There's a rhubarb plant in there that I just barely got inside the fence because I had no idea where it was, so that's good. It really defines the space. That's probably another big reason why we decided to do a garden fence, as well as keeping out the rabbits, and we're gonna hopefully enjoy lots of lettuce in the future. If you have any questions or want to know anything about what I'm doing or what I have done, don't forget to comment. I appreciate all the likes and subscribes, and as always, thanks for watching. Yeah. What he doesn't know is that it acts as like a child playpen. He can't get out now.